Hi guys, Luke from Lucas Cars. Today we're back with another episode on the build series. This is episode 5. Today I've sort of jumped ahead a little bit from last episode as I've got all the electronics in now. So last episode it was getting the transmission and stuff in, which as you can see there, if you haven't seen that, make sure you go and check that one out. It's an interesting video. So yeah, it's took a lot of work to get it to where it is now, to be fair. I have sort of taped everything down so you can sort of see that, so it sort of runs a bit sort of nicer along the chassis rails and such. That is sort of just floated on the side. It is taped down, but it's not ideal, but it works for now, to be fair. With these side runner plates, I've had to chop them down quite a bit to make sure it fits within the body lines, because we have got the body coming now as well, which I will show you in a second. So yeah, that fits within the body now as well. The motor that we had, the V8 one, which is in the background of there, that is sort of struggling to fit under the body at the moment, so we have to leave that off. Did try and chop it and stuff to try and get it in, but we are struggling. Another thing that we didn't have last time either was this front servo mount. So that basically just relocates the servo so it sits that direction rather than the other sort of direction, if that makes any sense. If you've watched like the first couple of videos, you'll know where it sort of sat sideways before, but now it's sat sort of at the front like that. That isn't that hard to get in, to be fair. You basically unbolt the 2 bolts at the front and that slides off, put the servo in. That's pretty simple, so I don't really need to show you how to put that in. It's quite self-explanatory. I've just put the sticker on the servo there. It's like a number plate sticker. Apart from that, it is still relatively the same. Put some magnetic body post mounts on, which I've done today. It's quite just a simple thing. Stole it from one of the drift cars that I've got, just because I've been struggling to get the body on, which I will show you now. Here we've got the body that we've got. It is a Jeep Rubicon body, got it off eBay. I think it was just under £30, so not that expensive for in terms of body shells and that, especially for saying it's all hard plastic. I have chopped it up quite a lot, to be fair, trying to fit it in, which isn't ideal because the wheelbase is perfect. I did measure that alright, so where they sit under there, but in terms of the chassis is too long on the front, so basically the servo and the motor almost stick out the front end if you have the wheels in the middle of the arches. So I've done a bit of chopping and stuff to try and get it to work as best as I can. Just a quick look around the body though, it already comes painted like this. I have sort of jumped ahead with the body, unfortunately, so you won't see what it was like standard, but it hasn't changed massively, to be fair. I've chopped these rear arches a little bit. They come down to sort of, you can see the line there where I've chopped it. That was more for the wheels rubbing for when it flexes up. I've put a sticker on the back, so it looks, of course, like a wheel. Almost looks like a wheel cover because it has like a fake wheel that comes on the back. It does come with a full interior as well. I could try and show you that. The doors do open as well, which is quite cool. So you can put like a figurine in there if you want to sort of pretend someone's driving it. But yeah, that's the main reason I bought it, is because it's all hard, like a hard body basically, with a full interior inside it. The battery, I've just stuck it to the back seats at the moment. It's probably not where it's going to live, but I'm not too sure at the moment. I've chopped some massive holes in the back as well for basically where the rear shocks come through. It's not really what I wanted to do, to be honest, because I wanted to try and keep it scale looking as possible, but I haven't got any cantilever suspension, or I couldn't really think of another way to do it without buying any other bits, so I basically had to chop that, and they basically just sit in between there. Underneath wise, I've put the 2 magnets there and there. It's basically where the magnetic body posts connect to, and that's what it looks like underneath if you're interested. Not that exciting, to be fair there. Front end wise, decided to put this bumper back on today. This wasn't originally on for quite a while when I was sort of doing the build as such. Not that you would have seen it because I haven't filmed that part of it, but I basically chopped a lot of it out and had all this off. It did kind of sit right, but it looked really odd when you had the body post on because it had a massive gap underneath, so I've put this back on and it sort of looks a bit better now. I've had to chop this hole for basically where the servo comes out, but you probably could cover that with like a winch or a fake winch potentially to try and make it look a bit better. In terms of fitting it on the actual body, or the body onto the car itself, it isn't too difficult. Basically just have to line it up. That's basically it, to be fair. And it's not super strong on, the magnets aren't that strong, and at the back it is kind of just resting in them sort of gaps. but as you can see, the wheelbase isn't drastically off. It doesn't sit perfectly for what I want it to be, but it's probably the best I've got it so far at the moment. In terms of the front, it looks a bit weird, I won't deny that. This bumper I wasn't sure if I was going to keep it on. I did originally take it off, but then I've just put it back on just in terms of something that can hit something if I'm going up like an edge or whatever. The Servo, you can see it is sort of hidden down in there. It is literally just under that plate there, but I've had to chop that all out sort of to get it in. The magnetics are not sticking properly. It probably needs to shuffle a bit more forward. So with this episode, we're not really doing a lot to the vehicle today because I've sort of done a lot of the bits. As such, it's more sort of showcasing the body and the extra little bits I've done to the car. So there's not really going to be any hands-on bits really, to be fair with it. There's also come with this bit, which you get some screws that you do from the inside, but you can basically rest it on just so you can see what that looks like. So that basically hides the battery inside. So you can see it through the windows, but you could probably hide it with stickers or scale accessories or something like that. But I'm pretty happy with how it looks in terms of like that. The wheelbase, as I said, not perfect, kind of sits alright, still got a lot of flex though, in terms of all the way around. It doesn't really rub. I've also got my little scale figure as well that can go inside the vehicle. Just fits in alright, to be fair. The wrestling figures are a bit too big, I'd personally say. There we go, so we got them that can go in there as well. Yeah, so now the build is mainly sort of complete as such with the scale transmission. Couldn't get the motor in, obviously, unfortunately, and we've got all the electronics in, so it basically is basically ready to run as such. It's sort of down to adding the extra accessories if we want to keep this body shell. I've looked at some of the potential other shells that we could use, like the RC four-wheel drive shells if we want to go down that route, but that could be quite a bit of work, to be fair. So yes, if you guys have any ideas of what you want me to do in terms of on this shell or what you want to see on this build, then let me know because I can have a look into doing it. Obviously I'll probably get some more accessories, like probably a winch to go on this, a light bar as well, and some other little sort of bits to just make it look a bit better, probably some side runners and that. But yeah, that is kind of the main build sort of complete as such for now. Roof racks as well, something that I want to look into getting. But yeah, we were looking to doing a running video as well, just so you can see how it runs. Unfortunately we can't really get out anywhere exciting at the moment because obviously what's going on in the world. We've got the garden though, that's not super exciting in terms of terrain that we've got. But yeah, I will do a running video, probably have that as the next video just so you can sort of have something to look at. Today it's more of just showcasing the body and where we're at with the build. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed today's video, and if you have, make sure you like and subscribe for future videos. Just thought I'd mention before we go as well, doing a quick sort of tour around the vehicle and the garage. If you've got any sort of questions or anything about the scale garage at all, it is something that I've got off eBay, but in terms of actually painting stuff, I've painted it all myself. It just came with like plain wood and you basically build it up. If you've got any questions about any of that, what I've used to paint it or how I've built it or how it goes together, or any of the scale accessories that I've got actually in the back, then just let me know. And also, if you want to see any other videos on the other cars that I've got, which I will show you now. Yeah, so I've got quite a few other vehicles in the collection, so if you want to see any videos on any of these cars, just let me know. There's sort of a bit of a variety, to be fair. I've got like the like stancy sort of builds, and then I've got like the drift car, and then I've got the other sort of stance sort of show car one, and then that's my drag car that doesn't look like a drag car, but it's pretty quick, to be fair, with the brushless system in it. But yeah, if you want to see any videos on anything like that, then just let me know, because I've got quite a lot of time to do things like that now at the moment with what's going on. But yeah,